Hey everyone, welcome to yet another episode of Prasidee Podcast. Our guest today is Mr. Prashant Yadav, founder and CEO of StatXo, which is a global business intelligence, analytics, and data management solutions firm. Prashant was living a content life. Finances were never an issue, but then came a day when he felt he needs more than money and position from his work. Watch his interview to know what drove him towards entrepreneurship and how he is successfully fulfilling his dreams.
So let's just talk a bit about your, earlier venture, Zestec. When you were able to achieve what Zestec was aiming for, what led you to take an exit from it and start with StatXo?
I would say somewhere my past experience was also responsible for it because the kind of exposure I used to get when I used to interact with different set of companies and clients who are sitting in India and outside India as well. So that level of work, that customization of work for different set of clients, different industries, gave me, a boost to my confidence, and I could, let's say, learn one particular thing from one industry and apply it to other industries. So that was cross industry learning. So that was something which was lacking, I would say, in when I was in Zestec. There we used to only interact with campuses or universities, and that too, people, I would say, are a little less mature in I would say Indian education market. I can be very open to it, and also, I mean, again, these two things, the education thing and what I'm doing, data analytics and research, are not very different. In fact, you have to implement these data analytics and research solutions into your learning and development as well. And that's what I did when I was working, when I started Zestec, right?
That's great. All right, Prashant. So, it just came up in my mind. Was there any point ever when, you questioned your decision of creating your own startup? You ever thought that you should not have left your job or something?
I would say I don't say I had this thing in mind that I'll go back. The step I have taken is wrong. So never had this kind of thought in my mind because when I moved, from my job, from my this particular job, I had a very strong mindset. I developed that strong mindset with time. That job is not for me for a long period of time. I had to just do something of my own, and in fact. Money won't, as I told earlier, money was not the only reason that I was doing the job. That was more for the learning. And in fact, I would say the age I've been during my startup phase, I feel this is the right age to move into this kind of thing because you don't have much pressure from the family side as well as from other circles as well. Nowadays there's a lot of buzz in the market about entrepreneurship and all. So people don't take it negative. People say that people even push you forward that, okay, you're doing a great job. This not takes a lot of courage and all these things. So never question my my decision. In fact, it gives me boost every time, things don't turn out. So that's how I've tuned myself that, things will turn out positive. In fact, let's say whether it is slowly it is moving or moving it fast. But I never question this thing. This is the very base of it. If you start questioning this thing, then you can't, be your own startup thing.
I understand. So, what inspires you every day to keep working with the same, zeal and zest?
I would say the daily activity that you do, or daily the kind of people you meet. These are the people who keep pushing you forward. And in my life, I mainly interact with friends. My wife is there, my family is there. So these are people I have around me, and I would say these are very positive people, and who gives me boost to my confidence and pushes me forward. But somewhere these are the people who tells me that whatever experience they have from the job or from life, that things will turn out. Don't lose hope, and that positive mindset is always there when you interact with positive people. So that is something which is very important. I have never been negative in my past. I can say that. In fact, I analyze about my whatever experience I've had for the last 8 years, and I feel that how things have turned out for me. When I started losing hope, then after some time pushing a little forward, then things have turned out positive. And patience is the key here. So you can't be impatient about things.
So, how important do you think now? Let's just talk about your business side. How important do you think is to find a co-founder?
I would say it is important because it depends. In fact, the stage where I took this decision, I would say I was not very experienced. I won't say I was perfect into things, but I had confidence, which I built over talking to very senior people or traveling and all these things I did. But when you plan an idea, and that too you're starting a business on that idea, You can't be like, I would feel that if there are more people attached to your idea, or let's say you have a co-founder or a team of co-founders, it's good because these people help you tune the idea that you have. They can question you that why it is happening, why do you want this to happen, how it's gonna help us out in the future, how it's gonna help generate revenue. So there can be a lot of questions, right? Because as a single person, it's not easy for you to question your own idea. Sometimes people are very positive. Okay, what I'm thinking is right, and let me take it forward. But and when let's say a random person comes in and questions on your idea, then you feel bad. But I feel if you have a co-founder or a team of co-founders, then it really helps you out in terms of putting the right questions in place and finding out the answers together. So that is very important, I feel.
But there could be both pros and cons to any decision. So I would want to ask you, how should one deal with disagreements with their co-founders? Because when you're working together, there could be many instances when you don't agree to certain things. So how should people deal with this situation?
I mean, your point is very valid. In fact, that is the key thing which keeps on happening when you are working in a team of two people or many people, right? As co-founders, in fact. So there's no such higher or lower hierarchy. It's everybody is equal there, right? And disagreements do happen because different people have different thoughts. And I feel that was the key reason why I wanted to have a co-founder, because I want someone to disagree with my idea. Because it helped me out to be more confident to come up with a solution and to come up with some points where I can agree, or where can I make my partner agree to what I'm trying to do, right? If I can make my partner agree to what I'm doing, I can make my investor also agree. I can make my customers also agree to it, right? So that's how I think about disagreements, and it is really important to have that because if you don't have disagreements in a team, then I don't think the team is growing. The main thing here about disagreements is how you deal with them, because if in a team of, let's say, two or more than two people, if these people are not mature enough to understand that this is what they're doing is because of the business, because of the common idea they have for future growth. But one should not build a mindset that the other person is always negative about things. In fact, they should understand about each other that I'm disagreeing because of some reason, and the other person has to answer my questions so that we both are agreed on common points, and we are satisfied, and we are confidently moving forward with a common idea.
So now let's just talk a bit about your social life. Most of the people think that starting your own business means no social life and dealing with extreme pressure all the time. So in your personal life, how are you dealing with such such dynamism?
I would really disagree with this because it depends how you manage your time, right? And it depends how you manage your team as well, how you allocate work to your team members. So, and how you manage your clients, right? So the whole pressure on you is because of, let's say, the clients. I would say major pressure is because of your clients, that you have committed certain deadlines to them and you have to meet those deadlines. I think that's the maximum pressure any startup company or anybody can have, right? Because you have to save your face in front of clients that you are delivering before time or on time. So I would say the key here is to manage the expectation of the clients and your team as well. In fact, you have to. I believed in one thing, that you have to commit less and deliver more. That way, you are happy and content with yourself, and you are making your clients as well. Happy as well, and in fact, your family expectations as well, because family expectations. They do have that they want to spend more time with you, your wife, your parents. But sometimes doesn't happen. So you have to even set their expectations sometimes. That this is a current situation that I have right now, and later on this much time I'll have, and I'll take a vacation, we'll go out and all. So that's how you have to manage your people around you who are working together.
So what do you suggest to the new entrepreneurs out there who are listening to you as of now, and they might want to know from your experience some of the advices that you could offer to them?
I would say, see, when a person plans to become an entrepreneur or plan to do something of his own, the person should be sure of what he is going to do and how he is going to do. It should not be driven by the motivational videos or these things that you see around you, or let's say in television. In fact, should be driven from inner yourself, right? So that first thing should be there, because nowadays it's like one feels very happy to say I'm an entrepreneur. In fact, it works like a marketing thing, right? And I can be very honest here, because sometimes when I meet new people and when they ask what do you do, I say I'm an entrepreneur. I'm working on this. I have this startup which I'm working on. So they have a different kind of respect for you, and they feel, oh wow, you're doing really good, and you have this courage to do new things and all these things. Very less people have that. So all these things should not be moved up. Because of the such things, and should not have that. Just to market yourself, you want to become an entrepreneur. You should be having confidence on your idea, and you should be very pure with your intentions, that it's not for fun's sake. It's a serious business that you are entering into. So this is the very first point I feel. Second is the motivation. So motivation is like people easily get demotivated when things don't turn out their way. So how you want to motivate yourself, that also they have to analyze, and don't rely on others to motivate you. Right? You have to be on your own. You have to motivate yourself, that what was the idea you're taking forward, and what plans you had in future, right? You need to have a vision. You have to have those dreams or thoughts that I'm going to do this by this much time, but don't take that too seriously, because you will be under pressure if you don't meet those deadlines what you've thought of, right? Another few points I would say about, I've seen some people who, when they start something, a startup, so they keep on doing that even if things don't turn out for them. They keep on doing that for 3 years, 4 years. I would say, some people might disagree with me, because some people say that I, worked hard for 5 years, things didn't turn out for me, but in the sixth year, things really were positive for me, right? But I would say one should go with a time limit, because you have to see that there are a lot of people around you who are having a lot of expectations. Your family or your friends, they have expectation that you will be independent. You will be more stable. But if you keep on dragging your thing which is not working out, then that's not a good idea. So have a proper deadline, I would say. Not too strict, but a specific deadline should be there. And with deadlines only you can move forward. And with short deadlines, you know that these are the kind of tasks I have to do. And long-term deadline means I have to get this result. So if things don't turn out on a shorter deadline, definitely you should keep focusing hard on meeting those things. Fourth point I would say about the investors, because what people are doing these days is just have an idea in their mind. Some are brilliant ideas, some are not so good ideas. But the first thing they do is start looking out for investors. So that is not the thing, at least for me. I won't suggest anyone to do that.
Now, this brings me to my last question, Prashant, which is how did your startup experience change your general outlook towards life?
So after this question, I keep on asking myself what changes have happened in my life after I taken this step. I would say my thought process has changed. In job, you think like in a very particular direction, right? You don't think on all the different angles, right? So when you start up your own work, you are doing all different set of activities, which in a corporate, there are different set of teams there. But here you have to do the marketing, you have to do the sales, you have to execute the project, you have to do everything, right? So that opens up your brain to different things, different ideas. Okay, these are the kind of things happening, and even if you take small steps there, you become more happier, right? You become more satisfied. Okay, I've taken this step on sales side now. Now marketing I'm doing, and now I'm doing a project, right? So that way you start finding out happiness in small things that the action that you're taking, which we not have when you're in a job, right? Second, I would say you become more patient. You have more patience on dealing with situations, because here every day, or in fact very frequently, I would say you tend to face situations where things sometimes turn out your way, things don't turn out your way. Then you have to keep your patience there, and should not react on those things, and you should think that how you can improve on those things, right? And in fact, you also start learning how to take some negative feedback in a positive way, right? When people can be upfront on your face that what thing you are doing, this is not going to work out. Even sometimes clients can say that, what have you done, right? So those things will tend. You have to take those things positive and to improve on to your solutions. When, let's say, people around you who are giving you the right feedback, be it on the personal side, be it on the professional side, or from, whether it is coming from the client side as well. So you become more, I would say, patient, and you start taking things more positively. That is the second point. Third, I would say you tend to develop a problem-solving mindset. In fact, everybody can say that I have a problem-solving mindset, whether a person in job or somewhere. But the kind of problems you face in a job and problems you face in a startup are very different. And in fact, a lot of things that you do in startup relate to your real life as well, because it's because you're alone. I mean, alone in the sense, you just, you don't have a big corporate in your hand. You're not a CEO of a big corporate. In fact, as I've mentioned, you're doing everything on your own. So you start developing new skills with yourself, and you start solving those problems. I never solved problems on the sales side earlier. Now I know, okay, this is how I'm going to pitch to my client. So things might turn out this way. Okay, second time I have to pitch in a different way. Third time I have in a different way. So these things you get to learn, and I feel you can implement such things in your real life as well. So how to deal with people. So that thing you really learn when you're in a business. You start understanding people a lot.
All right, Prashant, thank you so much for taking out time for us, and you have given some very good advices, and it is personally I have also learned a lot from this interaction as well of ours. Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Thank you so much, Asta, for taking out time and having this interview. And I feel the kind of questions you had were very relevant to an entrepreneur and to a life of an entrepreneur. And I mean, whatever experience I have, I've made myself clear on all the questions. And I hope people who are going to listen to this or read to this will learn something from some experiences.
I am sure.
Please find all the details of his interview in the description below and the podcast show notes. If you like it, please don't forget to hit the red subscribe button below, give it a thumbs up, and share it with your friends and family. For latest updates, please follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.